Well, good evening. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the Southwestern Writers Collection. Please turn off your cell phones. Stop those text messages. We know how you are. LOL. Makes me LOL out loud, as Monk said. So we have everybody. Everybody has a chair. This is great. And thank you so much for coming. It's wonderful to see so many friends here this evening. We're here to all share in the launch of Land of the Permanent Wave by Bud Shrake and edited by Steve Davis. And it's the number, what number is it, Steve, in the Southwestern Writers Collection series? Uh-oh, he's on the spot. It's, oh yeah, count all those. This is the 16th or 17th or the 50th. This is the 17th book in the Southwestern Writers Collection series with University of Texas Press mostly. And this is the last book that comes out under my editorship. I'm very happily and confidently handing that task over to Steve Davis, who's a wonderful editor and writer, and so he already has a number of books in the pipeline. So many more will be coming out in the years to come. Steve conceived of the idea of Land of the Permanent Wave probably after he wrote Texas Literary Outlaws, which is a wonderful book that many of you may be familiar with. It was about that generation of Texas writers of which Bud was a member. It also included Gary Cartwright, who's here tonight, and Larry L. King, who's not here but who's in Washington, D.C. and doing okay. Also Pete Gent and Dan Jenkins and Billy Brammer, and I think that may be it. But it was a wonderful, it was a terrific overview of that very fine group of writers. And Steve came out of that experience, I think, with a profound respect for Bud's talents in many different genres. And so he began to talk about doing a kind of a Bud Shrake Reader, which this is, each piece being introduced with an introduction by Bud, and then there's a foreword by Larry L. King, and Steve wrote a wonderful introduction himself that's informative and so forth. So it's a terrific book. I hope we sell a lot of them after G.W. reads and after Steve introduces Bud and after Bud speaks for a moment and we have some questions and answers. Then he'll be seated around the corner along with Steve, and they'll be signing books, and so you'll all have a chance to get your book signed. I'm very happy that Joellen Gent is here with us tonight. The book is dedicated to her, and I'm just glad that she's with us. So hooray for Jody. She's here. Where is she? Sorry, there she is. This is kind of the last big event in this space as it's now configured. Next October, we hope to see all of you at the opening of a large new gallery that will occupy this space. It'll go all the way back past the first range of shelves, and it will be not only a gallery but also a space to accommodate groups like this one, so that we can have speakers and music and panel discussions and so forth. So it'll be wonderful. There'll be new offices as well, and a new Cormac McCarthy reading room. So it's just a really it's a wonderful reconfiguration of these spaces for us, and it comes as the result of a lot of hard work by a lot of people, and it comes also from major support by the administration. We're very lucky to have here at Texas State a president who understands kind of how our mission of collecting, preserving, and making available the cultural heritage and riches of the region. She understands how that dovetails with the larger aim of the university, which is to educate and to inspire students to enable them to go out into the wider world as better and more complete citizens. And we're also very lucky tonight to have that enlightened president with us, and that's President Denise Trouth, who's here with us tonight. And we have two other staunch advocates of the collections here. That's Joan Heath, who's the director of the library. She's the Assistant Vice President for the library, Joan, and also our Vice President for Information Technology, our division head, and that's Dr. Van Wyatt. They're both here this evening. Thank you so much. And certainly, I'd like to express on behalf of the entire staff our gratitude to Bill and Sally Wittliff, who are our founding donors and also provide us with continuing guidance and support that are invaluable to these collections. So Bill and Sally are here as well. Thank you so much. There they are. And I have this wonderful staff that makes these evenings possible. They work themselves to a frazzle, and but everything. I mean, I think maybe we ate all the chocolates. Maybe, I don't know. And I don't think we even put back one box, which is a big mistake on our part. But but we have Steve Davis, of course, who is the assistant curator for the Southwestern Writers Collection. Carla Ellard, the assistant curator for the Southwestern and Mexican Photography Collection. Michelle Miller, who does our publications and our media relations. All the beautiful things you receive through the mail are designed by Michelle. Beverly Fondren is our development officer. Mary Garcia is our archives assistant. Katie Salzman, who just got back from Ireland about 5 minutes ago, is our lead archivist, and Joel Miner is our processing archivist. And last but not least, also Karen Sigler is here, our cataloger. And Amy Cochran, who's our office manager and who really oversees a lot of these activities and who does an incredible job, I think, practicing up for her wedding next month, I think. So Amy's here. So I'd like a round of applause for the great staff. Thank you. It's very hard to even begin to introduce G.W. Bailey. But I'd just like to speak first about I'd like to say first that he has a connection with Texas State University because of he's a Bobcat. He came back here in 1993. He got his BFA in 1994. He came back in 99, 2000 to be an artist in residence here. He trod the boards here as Dick Nixon in the Dead Presidents Club. And so he's read, this is the fourth time that he has come to one of our events to read for us, and it's just wonderful of him to do this. I'd also like to mention that for 15 years he's done volunteer work for the Sunshine Kids Foundation, and since 2001 he's been the executive director of that organization, which provides trips and activities for young cancer patients. So he's a man of many parts, not just an actor. He's a teacher and a philanthropist as well. But he does lock his keys in the car from time to time. He started out doing stage work. Went to Lamar, and he went to Texas Tech, and he worked in the Actors Theater in Louisville and also in California, where he went and did acting in San Diego also. He did Neil Simon plays, and he did Shakespeare, and then he got on television and in the movies, and had a recurring role on MASH as Rizzo, which many of you remember. Yes, for sure. And since that time, he's just been in front of us in so many television shows. I was reading his filmography, and I don't know how he had time to do all the things he did in the 80s and 90s and 70s as well. He's been on, I have to write clues here. He's been on Chips and Starsky and Hutch and Charlie's Angels and Soap and Laverne and Shirley and Lou Grant, Happy Days, Benson. Episodes of a recurring role on Sent Elsewhere, which is a wonderful hospital show I remember, Simon and Simon and Remington Steele, Bob Newhart, and I hate to mention it, but he was also in War and Remembrance, which was which was the miniseries that beat out Lonesome Dove in 1988. Oh, no! Boo, boo. But we won't hold that against him. He was also in a really good but very short-lived series called Undercover that was created by a Texas writer named Bill Broyles, whose many of whose archives are here, and it was really quite excellent. Didn't stay on for long, which I think had to do with the political situation of the time, the Desert Storm, and it was a CIA show. Anyway, he's been also on Murder, She Wrote, and I want to talk to you about Angela Lansbury later, but he's been on the Jeff Foxworthy Show in a recurring role, and in the 7 Police Academy motion pictures, which he went through way more than he should have, but maybe that was retribution for being in that War in Remembrance. I don't know. Anyway, currently he's starring as Lieutenant Provenza in a very successful police drama called The Closer, which is on TNT, which I really like. He's with a terrific ensemble cast. They've been nominated in 2006 and 2008 for the SAG, Screen Actors Guild, nominated them for the best ensemble on a television drama, and they're just really wonderful. And I kind of think of GW as being the leavening in that big loaf of bread, puffing it up. He's just terrific, and it's a wonderful show. I watch it all the time. They began filming yesterday, and I think he's not even supposed to be out of town, but he's a big fan of Bud Shrakes and a True Blue Bobcat, and he made his way through the storms to arrive in Austin, and hopefully he'll be able to get out before the next one rolls in, or maybe after. But it just gives me so much pleasure, and I thank you so much, GW, for coming and for reading for us this evening from Land of the Permanent Wave.